this is all Buchla format modules. This is like my live setup at the moment, work in progress, and a lot of this was used to make the album, and so it looks chaotic. It is at the moment. I'm still trying to get my head around it as well. But the principle of module stuff is very simple in that each kind of element of it does one thing, and in my opinion, the Buchla stuff does it want that one thing very well. And so this section of the setup is mostly for mixing. We're planning on doing some of the shows in surround sound, and this is sort of a fully quadraphonic mixer. And the idea with all these wires is that we can plug in voltages from external sources to control the movement of the sound around the room. And this is what's called a spectral processor. It basically splits the signal into different bands of frequencies, and then you can blend between two different equalization curves basically, and that can kind of modulate the way that the sound. Envelope generators basically create ramps and falls of voltage. They can do it very, very fast. So if you're doing a hi-hat sound, it can be very, very, very snappy, and if you're doing a sort of bass drum, it can be a little bit slower. And so I'm using this side of things mostly to just create percussive elements. And so there's oscillators here, there's a delay unit here, there's a mixer here, there's 4 filters here, which are kind of essentially volume controls, and envelope generators, again, the same as this one I said before. And so at the moment, there's just a single oscillator going in, which is a low frequency oscillator. You can change the frequency of it here, and you can change the shape of it here. And I've also got this foot pedal thing, which is just a Roland EV5 that I've hacked with a 9-volt battery across the potentiometer. It's a bit rough, but it can do things like that without having to touch the instrument itself. So they're patched into those places. I'd be very grateful if someone would make a professional version of this, because they keep burning out. So that doesn't sound very good. So we can then control a sort of filter on that by turning that down, but turning the volume down, and then we can create kind of bass pulses by turning that really, really fast. But that's not practical. So then we use this envelope generator to create these ramps and falls of voltage, which does it for me. So that's very, very quick, 0.1 second of a voltage up and down. And so there's kind of bass drummy sound. And that's going into the mixer. And these triggers that trigger the envelope generator start come from a MIDI sequencer. And there's other elements, so there's other oscillators here, there's white noise that sounds like this. And then there's other little blips. But the network of control that the pedal has kind of extends all over the whole system. So from a simple pedal, it can control the pitch of the bass drum, the attack time of that voltage rise and fall. So it can kind of help it start sounding like it's sounding like it's backwards, or turn it all the way up to the top. That's kind of fun for like live performance, and I think it's very important that the setup is as fun as possible for live performance, which is why I'm sort of practicing a lot at the moment. I don't know what this beat is, and then there's this element here is a filter which steps between different filters, like highlighting different frequencies, and that's under the control of the sort of master clock, and that goes in here, and that's in stereo. It can run in surround sound as well, which is pretty cool. So that's getting that signal. There's a delay unit, which I actually feed from this mixer here, which is a Sonosax, like broadcast mixer basically. So I can send the signal back to the delay. Add some feedback, and then again, that time is under the control of my foot as well. And this spectral process thing is under the control of my foot as well. You can see it moving. And if I turn this, oh, we can get some other elements going. So say, I think the clock's gone. So this is another drum machine that's running as well. It's all clocked, and I can send that into this spectral processor. So that's the frequencies going in here now. I'll turn that up. That's under the control of my foot. And we can start spinning everything around the room and surround. It's a complete mess. I'm getting there, but this is kind of, at the moment, what I'm using to create a lot of the rhythmic stuff for the show, and it's what I used for a lot of the album stuff as well. That was pretty terrible description of what this stuff does, but I would need to talk for about 2 hours to kind of get to the bottom of it, I guess. But it's a taste.